Welcome back to Intimately You, presented by TSC. We are exploring how we can push the boundaries of pleasure tonight with kink. Now, often misunderstood, kink is actually a common and healthy practice. And helping me to unpack this provocative premise is Luna Matatas, and we are gonna get right to it by unlocking our goodie drawer. And we have a bit of a special goodie drawer tonight from Love Honey, because Luna is going to walk us through how to use this wide range of kinky, I guess it's a toy chest, right? And we're gonna start with how to use these toys safely and pleasurably, and I'd love to begin with the spanking paddle. So why are we into spanking, and how do you spank safely with these Love Honey 50 Shades of Grey paddles in multiple sizes?
Oh yes, I love spanking and I love these paddles because they're so flexible. So we're going to talk about some of the features of them, but people are into spanking for so many different reasons. Sometimes we already have an idea of a stereotype of why you might be into spanking, who gets spanked, but really there's so many different flavors you can put into spanking. It could be punishment and reward, it could be playfulness, it could be you just have a nice butt, it could be about pain and pleasure. And so people get into it because there's sensation, there's role play, and there's also this playfulness.
Oh, I appreciate that so much. Now, how do we use these paddles safely? I think I have a big one and a small one, both from 50 Shades of Grey. Is yours the little one or the big one?
Mine's the little one. I got a baby one.
Size doesn't matter, but when it comes to safety, it actually does, right? When people are just beginning, I'm guessing you'd actually recommend the larger paddle over the smaller one.
Yes, you're so right, because the smaller paddle requires more precision. So you got to get really good at your technique. The larger paddle gives you more of an opportunity to hit a broader surface area. Both of the paddles have the wonderful velvety other side of it. So you've got the faux leather side and then the velvety side. So you get to give that contrast of sensations. The most important thing about spanking and when you're using paddles is that you know where is safe to hit on the body. So a little bit of spanking anatomy. We want to hit muscly kind of thicker areas like bums or backs of thighs, and we want to avoid areas that don't have as much padding and where there might be vital organs. So no stomach, no lower back. When we're talking about kind of warming up, how do you do the thing? How do you get into the thing? It's really important that we do. Yeah, I love that motion. I love that kind of like warm up your partner's butt, get around, get a little bit of tease in there. And then we want to start slower. We want to start with gentle taps and just get them a little bit excited of what's to come. And you want to use the technique called warming. So warming is bringing more blood flow, more arousal to the area with increasing sensation, whether it's this type of motion, whether it's a padding type of motion. We don't want to recoil back and hit super hard right onto the person's body. We want to give their body a chance to get aroused.
Okay,
Is this doing
awesome.
it for you, Jess? Is this like
Yeah,
you
this
and your
is
big
really
paddle?
great. I want to hear more about spanking, but we have so many products to get to. Up next, we have the 50 Shades of Grey cuffs, and we have multiple different cuffs here. We have the ankle cuffs, we have the wrist cuffs. I know they're pretty common, but what tips do you have for safety and pleasure, and why are these a must-have item?
Yes, I also just like the paddle, the 50 Shades of Grey Bound to You ankle cuffs and the wrist cuffs. They also have the soft, velvety, this really smooth feeling on the inside, so it makes them super comfortable for the person that's wearing it. A lot of times, our go-to is metal handcuffs, which require a key and which can sometimes be dangerous if we're moving people around while they're restrained. So having cuffs that have a quick release, so we've got the quick buckle, you've also got the soft padding, and then you've got the flexibility, so it moves with the body. Jess is in self bondage right now, which is also a thing.
These are really comfortable,
There you
and
go.
they're really beautiful material, right? So that soft, sorry, I've got myself caught here.
Yes.
That soft velvet on the inside, and of course I put the ankle cuffs on my wrist, so these will fit better on an ankle than on a wrist. But it really is luxurious and sensual, but then you have that sexier, kinkier, beautiful kind of leather-like outside, really gorgeous. Definitely, I think a good place to start if you're getting kinky. Now, if we take it up a notch, we actually have floggers, and floggers are different than whips. Can you walk us through the floggers and how to use them? They also come in two sizes from 50 Shades of Grey and Love Honey.
Yes, absolutely. And so floggers are a little bit different than whips in that whips are usually braided. So they're also a little bit meaner. They require more technique. They can cause stingier sensations. Whereas floggers, you can use them as a sensation similar to paddles, where we're creating kind of a thuddy impact. We're getting a broad surface impact. You can also use them as a little bit of a tickler, and you can drag it and tease it along someone's body so that they get to experience the sensation of it. With a flogger, if you're the one doing the flogging, you have to practice first. You got to be able to hit that pillow in the same spot over and over and over again. So make sure that your technique is good and that you set up communication with your partner to measure how strong the impact is.
Actually, you mentioned a pillow, so you're never using these items on your skin or anyone else's skin until you've practiced on another surface. That's correct, right?
Yes, absolutely. We want to be able to make sure that we can't hurt the pillow before we try it on somebody's body.
Exactly. And when you take a little, like you might think that this is rather innocuous, but it can hurt a lot. So you really want to build it up, keep the communication lines open. And I really appreciate that you always begin with that soft, sensual, getting to know you touch. Like even just the sound of this near your ears can be really enticing. Think about using all five senses. Okay, next, I know we're powering through, but we have the riding crop. This is definitely, from my perspective, the most advanced and perhaps the most risky. So you're gonna tell us how to use it safely and where to begin.
Yes, so you might think riding crop, you might think pony, but riding crops are actually really good for being precise with your impact play. So if you want to hit a smaller body part like a nipple or a penis or a clitoris, we want to be able to use something that has a bit more precision. And you're right that they are a more advanced tool because you have to be able to have that precision because you could injure somebody. This riding crop is gorgeous. Like it's so beautiful, and it does have a broader surface area than some of the more like equestrian riding crop. So you're actually getting something that's really useful for hitting those small body parts and creating sensation.
And when we're being careful with this one, do you have any like quick tips for people? Like maybe they should be watching videos or learning more or taking a workshop before you're playing with something like a riding crop?
Absolutely. I think that before you do any kind of impact play, you should take a class. Take a class, learn about spanking anatomy, learning about the different tools, learn about the kinds of sensations that you can create. Whether you want a stingy sensation, a thuddy sensation, what are you trying to do so that you're in control of the tool, but also your intention?
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for showing us those. Now you have a couple of other toys on hand. You have some nipple suckers, and you have a tie and tease kit. So first we have our Love Honey Color Play color changing silicone nipple suckers. Can you tell us a little bit about these two? Well, they come as a pair. This item?
Yes, you could use them separately, but the Love Honey color changing silicone nipple suckers are this wonderful sensation play tool for an area of the body that is usually underserviced, even though it's got a lot of erogenous zones, lots of nerve endings. And so you're creating a suction in the nipple through these cool little color changing suckers. And so you're getting the visual aesthetic of the color changing, but you're also getting the suction, which is bringing more blood flow and making the nipples even more sensitive. So if you're going for nipple gasms, this is a good toy to play with.
Awesome. People don't realize that you can actually have orgasms from your breasts, from your nipples, and you can use these all over the body. People are probably familiar with, traditional Chinese medicine cupping. We also use these in kink play. And we didn't quite get to it, but we do have that tie and tease kit, which everybody ought to have on hand because we've got the sensory deprivation. We've got the ability to do a little bit of blindfolding, tying up, teasing with this sensual feather. It's kind of a little bit of everything for everyone.